All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to Hippo Cup 9. We are here with another matchup in the round of 16 between Sun and the Irishmen 5. I'm Dio, and this time around I'm going to be joined by Hubba.
Yeah, how's it going, everyone? I'm excited for this one. This is probably, at least on paper for me, like one of the more contested matches of the weekend. Of course, we had just had 2 6-4s to start off our bracket stage, but this should be a heater with the Irishmen and Sun both being top performers in their respective groups.
Yeah, the Irishmen getting out of their group actually second, behind Archer X-Fire. And they were the 12th seed overall, so not surprising that they finished second, but typically a team that you see do fairly well here. All Korean roster, and definitely a repeat roster within Hippo Cup. Whereas Sun getting out of Group F as the number 1 seed, going 3-0 in the group, and also the 7th seed overall. So this is going to be I think, fairly close matchup, right? You had Seed 7 versus Seed 12 oftentimes in... well, not in a lot of RO16 brackets. You usually get Seed 5 versus Seed 12, but even that would be like somewhat close in a lot of instances. Then, of course, a very multinational roster. You have USA, Chile, Spain, Austria, Canada, Italy, Philippines, Sweden, all on the same team. So, going to be expecting a lot of matchups for this team to be around this time, around that 15 UTC. Whereas the Irishmen, honestly, I'm kind of surprised it's this late for them, and they are playing. It's about midnight right now over in Korea.
Yeah, really late for them, and also, like, a couple of their members are just getting off of commentating a grand finals, apparently. So they're even, like, commentating around this time, which is wild. I don't know how they have the energy. But these bands, Nomad 7, Nomad 4, Nomad 5, so it's Sun getting rid of the more reading-heavy Nomad picks in the pool, which is really surprising to me, actually. I feel like that's a ballpark they can play in pretty well, given their roster. Like, sorry, inserts Lightning, Fox, Alphew. Like, feels pretty solid on those styles of maps, but the perfect stacks, I guess, not to be played today, with both of those bands coming through for Sun. And Nomad 7, it's that kind of high BPM burst and tech difficulty map, a little bit jank in comparison to the other speed maps in the pool. So the Irishmen just getting rid of some of those hybrid mechanics, and DT2 as well for the 215 BPM stream stamina that Wake Up provides.
Yeah, and I think the Irishmen just banning out the speed maps, right? So see if Sun maybe takes advantage of that. Maybe Irishmen takes advantage of some of the more reading focused picks in the pool later on. For now, get into first picks for, in this case, the Irishmen. Maybe going towards, as we said, some of those more reading focused picks. If that's where they want to go, or if they go somewhere else, it is going to be Nomad 6 to start us off.
Yeah, so going down the line of that Nomad pool, Nomad 4 ban, Nomad 5 ban, Nomad 6 pick. It's going to be your classic down Nowashi map. We used plenty of time in tournament. Just a standard polyrhythm affair. A couple 1-6 bursts, couple slowdowns, couple startups. All players pretty familiar with the style of map, and Irishmen pretty comfortable in the skill set. One of the stronger rhythm teams in Hippo Cup historically. So looking to keep up that streak with the first pick here.
Now, let's see who comes in for this on both teams. I mean, I think you're probably going to see a lot of, if they're here, I think you're going to see a lot of Fedora Goose, obviously, Alphew, Aleph if he is here for this one as well. Does look like Lightning Fox is going to be coming in. And on the side of the Irishmen, You're probably seeing a lot of Crazy, a lot of Allegrissimo. I would expect to see more of like MX 10,000, Petit, Nope, KJK, Garalulu as well. We'll see if those end up making it in. It's going to be Choco to fill out the roster for the Irishmen on this one.
Yeah, surprised to see Choco in on this one, but he's been pretty confident on anything hidden. He's been a bit more all-rounder this Hippo Cup than in previous years, where he was more of just a raw reading specialist for the team. So curious to see the consistency there for this one. Pretty hefty combo, I believe the FC around 1200 for this map. So looking for all players to get in. The entirety of Sun does not want to play the map yet, but
yeah,
here we go. Hiddens on the side of Aleph, Fedora, Goose, Nope, KJK, and Crazy. Surprisingly enough, Choco taking the Nomad for this one in the rhythm map. Gonna be your standard, pretty alt-ish forward intro with these handful 1/6 bursts. Couple trios inside as well. It's accuracy advantage. Somewhat on the side of Irishmen, but it is very faint on the moment. Just these added 100s from Insert, but immediately equalized with that slider break from Choco.
And real quick, I do notice some hit sound lag, so I'm going to go ahead and fix that. You might lose audio hubba, but go ahead and make it a little bit more bearable for everybody else as we see a couple other breaks come through for the Irishmen. Everything just kind of flickering back and forth, though. Still 2 full combos to 2 and recovery for each of these teams. So it is just balancing knife's edge right now. And there goes Insert, one of those recovery combos down now for Sun. And with 2 FCs to 2, that actually does matter. It's just the recovery combos making the difference for either of these teams. And there goes Crazy. So now we have, once again, evened out recovery combo, but slight edge for the Irishmen.
Yeah, this is looking very confident for the Irishmen so far with that recovery. Actually, the Insert's break may have been Bancho, but that Choco one going down. It's just the FCs now for the Irishmen trying to maintain their lead, but it's not going to be enough with Aleph's 400 combo pulling out the work. But it's Lightning Fox with the slider break right before this longer string. And Nope, KJK, Allegrissimo putting in the work. They weren't on that OWC team for no reason. Fedora is trying their best to run the solo ship with that recovery combo from Aleph. But so long as both of those FCs hold, it is going to be firmly in the grasp of the Irishmen.
Well, as Patrick once said, firmly grasp it, and they are firmly grasping this lead on the side of the Irishmen. 1K combo on both of those members. As you said, just Fedora Goose to hold on. Accuracy, really not all that important on a map like this. It's all about the combo, and especially on Score V1. That said, we do have a really big recovery on the side of Aleph. If one of these FCs goes down, and there goes Allegrissimo. Okay, now this can potentially come back the way of Sun. Lightning Fox and Insert aren't quite the same kind of recovery combos as Choco and Crazy, but Aleph now is unopposed at 850 combo, and it should start to come back Sun's way with that matching FC from Fedora Goose and Nope KJK. The score lead not going to be coming their way any longer. There goes Insert, and with the recovery combos on the side of the Irishmen holding, I think that's going to be enough to keep it on their side through the end of the map. Looked like it could maybe come back there for a second, but I mean, pretty well in their favor throughout the entire map. A very, very close map, though. Pretty much the whole way through. You had matching FCs. You had just about matching score for Allegrissimo and Aleph by the end of the map as well. It really came down to those supporting scores there. So very well played to the supporting players on the Irishmen.
Yeah, and their break placement very unfortunate as well, right around that halfway point for both Choco and Crazy. So able to come back, get the combo hold in that tail end. Really solid stuff for the Irishmen, confirming their first point as Sun with the Fedora Goose FC. Fedora Goose doing their best, maintaining that top comfort position out of the group stage. I believe getting number 4 overall out of that group. So keeping the consistency forward, getting another FC on the board, but now for their first pick. And if I'm them, I think honestly, because of their bans, I'm a little unsure where they go. They're going into tapping first. It's Locus of Hexagram. This is going to be our 263 BPM Air 10.3 more finger control tap map of the ones in the pool. Some slight tech difficulties in this one as well, but it makes sense to go into this after that Nomad 7 ban.
Yeah, I mean, I think when your opponents are double banning speed, probably just picking more speed is a good response, right? I do agree, like, this being more of a technical pick makes a lot of sense to go into as a first pick, so yeah, like the pick. Let's see how they handle this, because yeah, it's a solid pick on paper, but I do still think that there's a world where players like Petit and Allegrissimo and My Keyboard, and I haven't seen much of Sherbet, but you know, some of these higher ranked mechanics players can really pull off an upset here. We're still into pretty early stage star rating, right? I mean, Nomad 1 is 7.00 stars. The highest normal star rating in the pool is like 7.5, and there's only 2 maps that are above 7-star rating that aren't a literal 2B map, so we're ignoring that one. Right? This is still a pretty early stage for most of these players, right? Especially the teams that make it out of group stage. These are, you know, all teams that have pretty solid players, you know, average rank in 3-digit or so. So I'm not expecting anybody to really struggle with a lot of mechanics picks yet in this tournament.
Yeah, the mechanics not super out of depth for any of these players, but looking solid for Sun at the tapping roster inbound. Tosin Jordan, Alfew, hopping in the lobby in place of Lightning Fox and Insert, as well as Garlulu, MX10000, My Keyboard hopping in for their first map as well. Hiddens on Goose, Aleph, Keyboard, and 10,000. So interested to see this one. Just about TV size after DT conversion. It's about 1:30 on the clock for this one. About 900 combo for the FC. Early days, early breaks for Alfew. Going to be giving Irishmen a little bit of an early advantage, but you're already seeing some of the technical difficulty of this map. The finger control, some of the bus slider holds. Some of these longer sliders not going to be too bad, but the finger control patterning is just not as stamina intensive as some of the maps Irishmen previously banned. And already just that early combo break from Alfew going to be giving them a little bit of an edge here. But that is a 4-way break just to maintain it. It's Garlulu dropping one of those FCs. It's 1 FC to 2. Bottom row, Aleph and Tosin Jordan, players to look out for. 100 on Tosin Jordan leading into the halfway point break.
Yeah, and it's also a slider break for MX10000 there on the bottom row for the Irishmen. So not looking too good. Not looking too good for the Irishmen on this one. There goes My Keyboard as well. It's just Allegrissimo. Best score in the lobby right now for Allegrissimo, despite that 1-100 play from Tosin Jordan. And, of course, unfortunately for Allegrissimo, no backup right now. Aleph holding on to the hidden double time FC for Sun, and better supporting combo on their side as well. There goes Tosin Jordan. Does finally find the drop, but it's not going to matter. 3 million score lead. There goes Fedora Goose, and now, okay, with Allegrissimo and Garlulu both finding breaks there. Done and dusted here. Sun matching the first pick point of their own, and taking us 1-1, tying it up.
Yeah, very quick first point for Sun. Makes plenty of sense given the bans. Just pick into that similar skill set, and it'll work out about 80% of the time. Working good with that LFFC, 5 100s to the name. Allegrissimo was holding on to the SS for a solid bulk of that map, but unfortunately, slider break at the end, a couple 100s. What can you do? It's 1-1 going into the Irishmen's next pick, and if I'm them, I think I'm looking towards this Nomad pool again. The Nomad 6 worked out well enough in their favor. I think something like Nomad 3 sticking to the alt would not be too bad of an option.
Yeah, I don't mind. Honestly, I don't mind anything kind of unconventional. I would like to see DT5. Any DT5 pickers? Any DT5
True.
pickers?
Oh, hey, you called it.
Oh, hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about, baby.
That's what we waited for. It was banned in my match, and we had FCs planned, so a little unfortunate, but we're gonna have to see. This is like the practice map of this pool. It's been referred to as the gamble map, but I think this is very learnable, especially given the FC edit. This forced break's gone, so pretty manageable. There is a trick with the map to get higher accuracy, where like if you full hold and tap sliders with one finger, and then single tap the circles with the other, you get the slider act bonus. Curious to see if anyone knows the tech on either of these teams, but nobody's in the lobby right now except for Aleph, so...
Hey, Crazy was there too. He's chatting.
He's hanging out.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I channel my Irish... I channeled my Irish heritage for that one. For this pick. Very, very happy to see this get picked. I have one match this weekend. I was really hoping to see this map. Alright, looks like we're getting rosters in for both teams at this point. I don't know if Aleph is actually sticking around or not. I guess we'll see. Same for Crazy. I don't know if he's actually sticking around or if they're both just lobby sitting, right? And okay, never mind. We're not actually getting full rosters yet for either of these teams. There we go. We got some people in now. And I think those are going to be the rosters. So insert Toybot, Aleph, and Lightning Fox for Sun, Crazy Allegrisimo, Choco, and where did Nope KJK go? There we go. Okay.
Okay, so Aleph staying in. It's reading roster for Sun, Toybot hopping in the lobby for their first outing. Same roster as the Nomad 6 for the Irishmen. Core 4 inbound, Choco, Algrismo, Nope KJK Crazy. Makes plenty of sense. Hidden's probably gonna be on Choco and Crazy for this one, if I had to guess. No, it's Nope KJK taking the Hidden.
Well, the client really does not like this map. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I think this is the first match I've ever had where 4 people don't load in twice. That's actually wild. Okay, a couple of early misses there for Toybot and Lightning Fox. Aleph missing right at the start of the map as well. I think everybody else with lower combo has just lost slider ends. And that means 4-way FC, now 3-way, now 2-way, now 1-way for the Irishmen. But there goes insert. That's the last FC down on the side of Sun. And it is just Allegrisimo holding onto the FC in the entire lobby.
Yeah, Allegrisimo holding on tight here with these slider ends. And Aleph with the slider break now right at the tail end. It's Allegrisimo running the show here. 91% on Choco. He knows the method. Allegrisimo, so
oh my god, how did we slide a break there? Oh,
that is tragic. Going into the on the plus side, this is the hardest part of the map. If anyone holds combo here enough to bring back the scoreline, I'd be shocked. Especially with Nope KJK's recovery, holding on to all the jumps. Unfortunately, to break at the tail end, but enough damage has been done. Irishmen with a very successful second pick. Just the final couple hold sliders, and we'll see. Okay, the scores do end up loading. That's wholesome. 85% on Choco, highest stack in the lobby. Allegrisimo, but that 268 hold was the difference maker for the scoreline.
I mean, honestly, it's just way better team comfort for the Irishmen. You look at Allegrisimo and then their bottom row, Choco and Nope KJK, and they're all higher scores than the best one from Sun, which is on Aleph. So it's just a team gap, and the Irishmen far better on that map. As we go now into another DT pick, but a very different kind of DT pick. It is crossover, some 300 BPM AR 10.3. I think this is like burst aim hybrid kind of late tech, right?
Yeah, this is the 300 BPM bursty map. Another one of the shorter maps in this pool. going straight into 300 BPM bursts. A little bit of tech difficulty, but kind of menial in comparison. Just this lineup of DT maps is just like tapping, 10.3, 10.3, and then 2 apart. So it's just fairly similar to that DT3, just higher BPM.
Sorry, I haven't looked at the pool. Why is there a 7-second DT6? What's going on there?
Jeff just doesn't care, man.
Doesn't care. Okay. Didn't care.
Didn't
Not
care.
caring. Well,
as the Irishman would say, couldn't be arsed.
True. All right, everybody in for the mechanics pick. Fedora Goose, Alfeu, Aleph, and Tosin Jordan for Sun. My keyboard, Garalulu, MX-10000, and Allegrissimo once again for the Irishmen. I think this is identical lineups to the last DT mechanics pick we had. Gonna expect a lot of that in this match. Swapping out the roster for consecutive picks. As we head into the second pick for Sun, looking to tie us up 2-2 once again. The Irishmen successful in both of their first picks. Sun successful in their first pick, but we've yet to see how this one turns out. And this is it's not 7 seconds, but it is pretty short. It's 1 minute and 15 seconds, so every little bit counts in this one.
One of the shorter maps in this pool. Looking for everyone to hold on here to these higher BPM bursts. Curious to see how they perform on the more speed cappy pick. It's Garalulu with an early miss. Missing in the middle of that burst, maybe a little over tap action there, but going to be giving the advantage over to Sun, who are looking fairly confident. I mean, you're just looking at the accuracy difference. The SS on Aleph looking so strong for the hidden double time there. My keyboard, Alfeu to trade. So still maintaining the 1 FC advantage over the Irishman, as well as those recovery combos falling as well. At this point, you need a double break from those FCs for MX-10000 Allegrissimo to make their scores count at the halfway point. Longer burst, it's Fedora Goose Allegrissimo to trade. And that should just do it, given the 2 million extra score on Sun.
Yeah, I mean, unless Tosin Jordan and Aleph both break here and MX-10000 clutches out the FC, there's really no way back into this for the Irishmen with how short this map is. I mean, and actually with how long these breaks are, I think even if that happens, they're still cooked. So, yeah, successful pick for Sun, and there goes MX-10000. So, not just cooked, but overdone, burnt, charred on this map. The Sun bringing out the grill for this one.
And FC finalized for Tosin Jordan. So overall team comfort there, really strong stuff for Sun. 2 for 2 on the short, snappy, and quick speed maps. Running a little low on those now. There's still Fremont 3 remaining for their next pick, but Irishmen just keep picking into the weird stuff. I would like to see maybe Fremont 2. A little bit of Chocobo action from them would be nice. Fremont 4 as well. Kind of in similar vein, lower approach rate, but a fairly comfortable map by comparison. I think Chocobo is probably just the next play.
Yeah, I like Chocobo. I also like going into something, I think you mentioned the Fremont 4 already. But yeah, it's just Chocobo. And here we go. This is the original Chocobo, not Rap de Chocobo, but the MTMCL Chocobo from way back in 2008. Submitted December 21st, 2008. Ranked December 23rd, 2008. Could not be 2026 mapping. And this one also has CS6, HP6, OD6, and AR6. That could be 2026 mapping, but instead it's 2008. Some things never change. If you don't know this map, you're probably newer to the tournament scene or newer to the game in general. Chocobo is a very old style, as I said, single value metadata map with everything being 6, circle size, AR, etc., all being 6. and it's got a lot of kind of funky older style sliders that just have this weird curve to them. But the main difficulty is the grid snap linear patterning plus the wiggles in this map. It being grid snap and having distance spacing enabled means you sometimes get some really tough wiggles in a map like this.
Yeah, and those wiggles paired with Air 6, especially on a free mod pick, you do need 2 mods, regardless of what mod that may be. If you take the Hard Rock, that's going to be CS 7.8, Air 8.4, so you're not even alleviated from any of the density difficulty. And if you're on Hidden, you have to deal with the Air 6 on Hidden. It's like incredible density. The notes are gone for at least half a second before you have to click them. So really scary stuff for your modded players, and given the rosters on the board, it could really go either way. I could be seeing Choco on the Hidden or Crazy on the Hard Rock. Crazy actually on the Double Time, which is surely not to be correct. Double Hidden for the Irishmen, Hard Rock Hidden for Sun is going to be the play for this one. Goose and Insert running no mod here. But in we go. We have not seen very strong team scores on this so far throughout the weekend. I believe the top team score just about 5 million. It is 3 million for FC. So
yeah,
looking for these combos to hold. Yeah, a very hard map to be consistent.
I mean, just look at the slider. The slider tick rate back in 2008 went crazy. I can't lie. Just those sliders alone. That one caught Alphew and Nope KJK. Not surprised there. Choco actually getting caught out by these wider spacing patterns. Alphew finding another drop as well. But it's 3 FCs to 2 right now in favor of Sun, and the Irishmen in this pick not looking great for them at the start here. Alfew and Choco finding matching breaks once again. Alfew having the toughest time on that rock, but with multiple breaks for the Irishmen. I mean, Nope KJK's break is so sad. He's on 99.6 AC 1 slider break right now. There goes Fedora Goose, so that's a matching break now. Insert also finding the drop, and that suddenly swings it way back in the favor of the Irishmen. 2 FCs to 1 on that bottom row.
Yeah, and as well as this recovery combo from Nope KJK, pretty much uncontested FC and recovery combo right now for the Irishmen, who are building up to have a pretty phenomenal team score here. Accuracy just 100 for a couple of those players. Nope KGK dropping the recovery, but not going to matter too much at this point with the 600k average. It would require both of those players to break at this point, but it's Toybot to drop the FC on the side of Sun. And it's all eyes glued to that bottom row of the Irishmen. Crazy and Allegrisimo closing out both Nomad 100 FCs. In a phenomenal team score for both of these teams, but the double FC is really nice work from Allegrisimo and Crazy. Still got it.
Yeah, that is actually kind of incredible. So I'm going to disable laser mode for a second on my website just to see where that would be in stable. Not in the top 50, because top 50 is entirely either modded FCs or no mod double S's. But just straight no. Wow, there's more than 50 no mod double S's on this. I guess that's not surprising given it's OD6, but still. Regardless, a very impressive score from both of these players. And actually, it's not even a real 100 there for Crazy. It's one dropped slider end. So really, really impressive stuff. And now we go straight into Free Mod 3, Fast Track to Browntown by Daniel Baranovsky. This is very short, 1 minute long, 266 BPM. I think just speed aim hybrid, right?
Yeah, speed aim hybrid, kind of older style. Of course, Arfamigon, this mapper, known for their Super Meat Boy tracks, mostly speed mechanics. A little different than that DT3, DT4 hybrid. This one a little more straightforward. I wouldn't be too surprised to see Petite in now, assuming they are out of casting their other match that they were in. But yeah, this is going to be a pretty straightforward Fremont 3, even shorter than that DT4, so still picking the speed, still picking the short stuff for Sun here. There are these squares around the halfway point that are pretty make or break for the FCs most of the time. The burst's pretty simple in comparison, but those middle of the screen squares incredibly volatile.
We'll see how these players are able to handle those. So far, we've just been trading points back and forth between these two teams. Insert in for the speed map is not something I was expecting, just considering the roster for Sun. Not unheard of, but not necessarily expected. We haven't seen him in for one of these more mechanics-focused picks yet. And yeah, no, he swaps out for Toast and Jordan. Okay, there we go. So we've got 4 players for each team. This is the exact same speed roster once again for both of these teams. 4 unchanged players, 3 maps in a row, 3 picks for Sun, 3 identical rosters for both teams. As we get into another Super Meat Boy track, hidden for Fedora Goose and Alfew. That is Hard Rock on my keyboard. I don't think... wait, no, this is Fremont. Yeah, 1 hidden, 1 Hard Rock for the Irishmen. My keyboard on the Hard Rock, MX-10000 on the hidden.
Yeah, running that comfort mod for my keyboard, not wanting to play the hidden. Hidden on MX-10000 makes plenty sense there. It is slight accuracy advantage to Sun, but that early break from Toast and Jordan on the burst of all things, as well as the square to follow it up. Matched by Garlulu, matched by MX-10000 in this first third, and immediately it is 1 FC to 3. Out of the break, SS still being held on by Aleph, who's looked phenomenal on all of these tapping picks so far. And Alagrisimo once again only combo to hold on these speed maps, but not going to be enough so long as this goes on, especially with how short the pick is. Just a couple more sections remaining with the 260 BPM. And just like that, Sun with their 3rd point on the board in very quick succession.
Yep. Nothing that the Irishmen can do at this point. A couple of misses coming through for 2 of those FCs, Fedora Goose and Alfew, both breaking right near the end, but obviously not going to matter. 2 FCs on the board, 1 for Aleph, 1 for Alagrisimo, but the rest of the lobby much more in favor of Sun on that one once again, and we are tied up 3 to 3. They just keep trading the points back and forth. It's gimmicky reading stuff for the Irishmen, and it is speed mechanics for Sun.
And I mean, here's where it gets more interesting now that the reading stuff is fairly exhausted. Fremont 4 is multi-way hard rockable, so it's not like a forced reading pick in comparison to the other stuff. And Fremont 3 was the last like higher BPM tapping map available. I suppose there's DT1, but that's Senya double time at 6.8 stars, which for these players like has massive 8-way potential. You are high-key consistency gambling if you go for that.
Yeah. How overstarred is it? Is it like Plain Asia overstarred, or is it like normal Senya DT overstarred? Because Plain Asia is like, you know what I'm talking about. That map is way too high star. Like, I can play that, and I am not a speed player.
It's normal Senya, I'd say.
Okay.
In comparison, there's a spot 2/3 in where it's like these spaced 5 quints that everyone explodes on. But other than that, it's really simple 240 BPM bursts. Other than that, though, I don't know where Sun would go. Oh, Irishmen, I suppose. I like Nomad 3 for them.
Yeah, let's see some alt or some tech in other spots. You can go Hard Rock 3 as well once this is exhausted. Hard Rock 2 potential option. It is going to be just the Nomad 3 though for now.
Yeah, Hard Rock 2 is a good shout for feature picks. Both of the bands from Sun are maps that feature perfect stacks, and HR2 is another one of those maps that is fairly perfect stack heavy regardless of the AR10. Actually, the AR10 makes the perfect stacks worse for a player like me, so I'm curious to see the comfort there, but it is Nomad 3, it is Bongu, This map is becoming increasingly popular in tournaments. It's going to feature these snap cut alt patterns. Fairly standard, fairly short, at just about 2 minutes 30. Curious to see the key eyes mostly. There's a handful of like they play like cut doubles, but it's one concurrent alt pattern. That's probably like the most volatile thing in this map. And you've seen lots of breaks there. Could make or break some scores.
This is kind of the first map of its kind that we're going to see in this match. We really haven't seen any kind of alt aim control focus picks. So I'm wondering about the rosters here. We have Fedora Goose, we have Toybot, we have Sherbet in for Sun right now, alongside Lightning Fox. Crazy Petite, Nope KJK, and Allegrissimo in for the Irishmen. Petite maybe swapping out for somebody else. It's actually Sherbet swapping in for the Irishmen. And that is a player that I am not super familiar with, so looking forward to seeing them play, especially any like more up and coming Korean tournament players, right? Always exciting to see what newer talent we might have in the country. Whereas Sun, I think these players are all pretty well known at this point. Fedora Goose, Toybot, Alphew, Lightning Fox in for this map on their side.
Yeah, swapping the rosters here. Lightning Fox with a little early break action, getting into a different style of map. Lightning Fox just in for this reading maps prior. So, awaiting and seeing the comfort here. Lots of movement in this map with the spacing changes in those alt patterns. You saw the little accel there alongside these cross-screen sliders and snap doubles. Fairly comfortable in this first half, but once that key eye hits, you're going to start seeing some of the space quints and those XL doubles that really strike out some combos. Nobody getting striked out by the 1-6, but key eye inbound, and in it we go. Hidden's looking comfortable. Just that first break from Lightning Fox, as well as the accuracies, but there's the cross-screen sliders, and Allegrissimo to trade that break from Toybot, but still 2 million advantage going out of the key eye. Here's the pattern I was worried about, and it's the triple break. Alfie, Lightning Fox, Allegrissimo, Sherbet immediately after. Nope, KJK on a slider is going to be the equalizer, though, as it is a very slight combo advantage for Sun.
Yeah, this is not going to be enough to bring it back the way of Sun. They're going to need more breaks from the Irishmen if they do want to start bringing this back for a potential break point. But the Irishmen, I mean, you're happy about this not being quite enough, right? So long as Crazy is matching that reverse choke from Fedora Goose with the FC on Nomad, you're set on this map. You're not going to end up losing this score lead unless something catastrophic happens. There goes Nope KJK, and that is precursor to catastrophe potentially for not the Irishman, but for Sun. Fedora Goose finding the miss there on Hidden near the end of the map, and Crazy still holding on to this FC. Toybot dropping the recovery combo as well, and at this point I think it's well and truly over for Sun. The Irishman putting a 4th point on the board, 4-3, and once again, Hubba, we just get traded picks back and forth. Now the onus on Sun to trade back and tie us up once again.
Yeah, this has been a very confident match for these teams, not losing their picks. The most unconfident pick we saw was the first pick, oddly enough, with that Nomad 6 only having a 2 million difference. That one closer to 7.5 mil on the differential. Crazy closing out the single FC on the map. Incredibly strong stuff for the Irishmen going out of that pick. And back over to Sun with tapping picks exhausted. I am curious to see where they go. There's still Free Mod 1 and No Mod 2 for flow aim streams, but I think Irishmen are a bit better on that skill set in comparison to the speed stuff they've been picking prior. But no, they're going to go into the DT1 regardless of the lacking of skill cap. So curious to see if Irishmen rock the same roster or rock a more consistent lineup for this one.
Honestly, I think it's probably going to be just the same roster that we've seen 3 times already. If I'm going to be completely honest, I really don't see them switching it up at this point. Maybe Petite comes in, right, is now actually here, but I don't know how warmed up they are on speed. You said they've been commentating before this, right? So maybe you just leave it to the people who are warmed up. You know, I think it depends on how good you are without a warm up on something like this. So possibility that we see one member swap out maybe, but probably just the same rosters that we've seen so far. It's Satellite, Senya, DT. There's what else do you need? Actually, no, it's not Satellite. It's Cafe de Coral. Who is this?
Oh. No Satellite?
Not a Satellite. It was nominated by Satellite, so in a way it's Satellite. he's got the Satellite blessing.
Still improved.
but it is not Satellite. And yeah, it's just the same 8 people again for the speed map. Who could have possibly predicted this?
Well, same rosters. Lower BPM, if that is any entryway, as well as a very comfortable style. Going to be 240. Going to be these slightly longer bursts than in comparison to the previous matches, or maps, rather. It is an early break from my keyboard, a little uncharacteristic of them, but going to be giving Sun the early advantage. This is just this for like the first 2 minutes or so until that second PI comes through, so it's all about looking for the consistency, looking for any act drops, trying to see who is feeling a little less comfortable here. And it just does seem like it's the hidden players right now. It's my keyboard with another break going into this first PI. A little bit less accuracy on the side of Aleph for Sun, but so long as they hold on to all 4 FCs, I guess it doesn't really matter. And MX-10,000 Girl Algorithm ready to pounce at a moment's notice once those breaks, if they do come through for Sun.
And it doesn't even look like a speed issue for my keyboard. It just looks like he's aiming too high on everything. So I think just misaiming a lot of these bursts. What was that? I think it's just an over-aim on the slider for Allegrisimo as well, and now you've got 2 FCs down. Tozen Jordan will find a slider break there on the Buzz slider as well, but it's matched by MX-10,000 immediately afterwards, and Ahaba, is it already over? It might already be over.
Yeah, it's a 7 million difference. Tozen's the only one to break again. There's the spaced quints I was telling you about, and all 3 of the members on Sun held it. So, div spike section avoided, I guess. Goro Lulu holding onto the FC for the Irishmen, but that's just not going to be enough. Sun has been too confident on the speed picks in this pool. And, I mean, we're already just about to reach match point for these teams, and they have just been picking, like, pretty much the same skill sets every time.
Yep.
So, it's down to the wire, and it's going to be curious how this tiebreaker goes, given that it's tech, and the only tech that is available in this pool, really, is, like, all the speed maps have, like, tech elements in them, I guess. But yeah, there it is, Sun, with their 4th point on the board, still evened up 4-4. The 99 from Aleph. It had the lowest ACK in the lobby to start, but ended with the best ACK in the lobby, and is going to get top score there, as it is the final pick for the Irishmen. And as you mentioned, there's alt maps in the Hard Rock pool still available, likely to be the next stop on our train to a potential tiebreaker.
Yeah, any DT6 pickers? Any gamblers? Any gamblers? Probably not. Probably not in this match. When it's this close, I feel like you're not going for it. I feel like the only time we're going to see DT6 is in an incredibly one-sided matchup where it's 5-0 And either the team up 5-0 picks it for fun, or the team down 5-0 picks it because they're like, what do we got to lose, right? So, yeah, I think we're not seeing it in this match. Maybe we'll see it in one of those, but not this one.
I thought it was going to get picked in my match, but the other team banned it. So, what can you do?
That's no fun. Yeah, I feel like Hard Rock 3 is a very, very good pick for the Irishmen here. They had a pretty good time on the Nomad 3. They're going to go with Hard Rock 2, which is the other kind of lower BPM, more control-focused map in the Hard Rock pool. Love Fighter by Brandy. Originally from O2 Jam.
Yeah, this was a USC Free Mod 4 this year in the round of 16 pool. So this map features those perfect stacks, the 250 BPM kind of snap ult situation, as well as a handful of cut bursts that are really easy to strike you out. So a slight practice map here with regards to those perfect stacks, but mostly pretty comfortable snap ult for 2 minutes. And given the bans from Sun, both of those being the perfect stack maps, I think this is probably the best pick remaining in the pool for the Irishmen.
Yeah. See if they are able to convert on this. I mean, this is last pick for both of these teams, right? We're tied up 4-4. So both of these teams get their last pick regardless of how they go. Most interesting thing is if either of these teams happens to score a break point, right? At that point, now it gets really, really interesting. First appearance for Sari this match on the side of Sun. Not surprising that this is her first appearance. I believe it's 8:49 a.m. over there. So, yeah, not surprising to only see her now.
First appearance as well for Petite, who
no, we saw
surprisingly
once
enough
before, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on I think the last pick for the Irishmen.
Oh, I completely missed that. Welcome back, Petite. As all players in, Hiddens on Aleph and Fedora Goose is a little surprising. I consider Sari pretty comfortable, but on the hidden Hard Rock, but I suppose many players can fill the void when the approach rate is 10.
And actually, no, never mind. This is Petite's first map as well. They joined the lobby for the last one and then left the lobby. And instead we saw Sherbet. Now, also a first appearance for Petite in this one. And just early on, 3 full combos to 2. One matching supporting combo between Petite and Tosin Jordan. Fedora Goose also on a reverse choke, so likely won't create too big of a lead for the Irishmen, but it is a bit of an early lead for them at the start right now.
Yeah, there's that first cut burst. You see a couple 100s on MX-10,000 Algrissimo, but the FCs to hold. This recovery combo from Petite putting in work as well. It's that break from Aleph that's going to really start to cause damage, but luckily for Sun is traded by Crazy in this Ki section. And again, this map has just so much movement to it. Those slider streams from Fedora Goose and Aleph, some extra breaks on the side of Sun, as well as the cross-screen jumps. It's just so volatile, and with that secondary break from Goose, really putting an exclamation mark on this lead from the Irishmen right now. So long as those 3 FCs hold on, make it 2. 2-2 now is going to be fairly even. It's just the already here score lead, but that jump section, no more combos on the side of Sun. And Irishmen, with that, have confirmed their match point. All eyes on Algrissimo and Petite, who are making a show of this HR2.
Yeah, this is a really crazy team score for the Irishmen. Algrissimo will finally drop, but they definitely did enough. And Petite is looking to close out a reverse choke on this map, which with the hidden Hard Rock is really, really good. I mean, Just Nomad, I think this is hard enough, but that's a very, very good score for Petite. First map in and drops a banger score. Can't say any different for Sari. Did have a solid score on the side of Team Sun, was their second best score. Unfortunately, both Allegrisimo and Petite outscoring everyone on their side. And then, of course, MX-10,000 not too far behind Tosin Jordan and Sari. So team gap once again for the Irishmen on this pick. And we get to the last pick for Sun now. Down 4-5, looking to tie it up and force tiebreaker. Winner's bracket run on the line with this pick for Sun.
Yeah, this is an important one, but with all the tapping exhausted, there is just those flowing maps, and I said that last time, but I forgot DT1 was there. Tapping exhausted for real this time. The stream maps in this pool are 176 and 185 BPM respectively. I think their next best pick is probably just like the Nomad 1, because it's like 225 BPM plus the aim mechanics. It's like as close as you could get to something like Fremont 3 probably.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Nomad 1, Hard Rock 1 is probably the best option. There's not really anything like the tiebreaker in this pool as well. Otherwise, I would say, well, if you got to play the tiebreaker, maybe just pick something like it. And if you win that pick, then hey, you probably win tiebreaker. That's awesome. Give yourself some confidence. And if you lose, well, probably would have lost tiebreaker anyway. No big deal, right? But yeah, there's not really anything else that's like the tiebreaker, nor that's actually a tapping map left in the pool for these players. So I agree. Nomad 1, Hard Rock 1, probably the best picks remaining in the pool. I would just go Nomad 1 though. We've got several different picks here. Nomad 1 coming in. Okay, there we go. And I do think this is probably better than Nomad 2. None of the speed picks were flowing, right? But there was a lot of aim in the speed picks. So picking a fast aim map, I think, makes a lot more sense than picking a 185 BPM flowing stream map.
Yeah, as well as the approach rate comfort on this one. It's like 9.9. You're basically playing an Air 10 map. The hidden's not going to be pretty negligible for whoever is taking it on these teams. So far it is Toybot assuming position for Sun, who is plenty strong on these hybrid aim picks. Just waiting the roster from Irishmen, but I wouldn't be too surprised to see your classic players, your Crazies, your Allegrissimos likely to be inbound for them. Alphew assuming final slot for Sun. And Petite as well for the Irishmen, now that they are fully in the weeds of it now. Going to be playing this Nomad 1.
And I don't know, I just have a feeling this is gonna be a good last pick for us here. We do have everybody in now. The two members who have just recently made their appearance for the Irishmen also coming in for this map, Sherbet and Petite. Looking to close it out with a breakpoint alongside My Keyboard and Allegrisimo. Fedora Goose, Toybot, Aleph, and Alphew in for Sun. That is a good roster for them on this map. Likely to be Toybot and, well, maybe Toybot and Alphew, I think, taking the hidden. Might be Fedora Goose. Looks like Aleph, actually. Okay. We have a lot of players who could potentially take hidden on this map. Like you said, it's not that impactful. And here we go. Last pick for Sun now. Looking to tie us up and bring it to tiebreaker. Keep themselves in winner's bracket one map longer in this match. And the Irishmen looking to end that winner's bracket run early here.
And such a scary map to do it on as well. Picking the Nomad 1 at this point in a match, you have to wonder how any potential nerves may affect your gameplay, especially at these lower SRs. It is the first break from Alphew in our build-up section. Just finding these little under aims in between the triples. All combos held for the Irishmen, but in we go with the Key Eyes. It's classic barking Mad Dog style. You're going to be seeing plenty of triangles in between these little slider kick jumps. Building up this section, very notable pattern. Sherbet finding the traded break. So now Alphew with a slight combo advantage, leading into our second section, first third down. And 3-3 on the FC is going to be the main story to tell here.
When Petite actually just, I think, like, a slight misaim, it looked like maybe he dropped the tablet pen there for a second. Just kind of mispositioned the hand. And now, combo lead back the way of Sun. Sherbet had also missed a little earlier on, so it is 2 FCs to 3 in favor of Sun, plus better supporting combo on Alphew than on Sherbet or Petite. And into the second Ki time we go. Halfway in now. The really important Ki time. If you can hold through this, you get a lot of extra score. There goes Alphew. That supporting combo now down for the side of Sun, but with the 3 FCs to 2 and Petite matching the miss from Alphew, this is still going very well for Sun. Extra 400 combo or so on their side. And they continue to build up this score lead now to about 5 million team score in their favor. That said, there's so much score to be had at the end of this map. Sherbet drops on the stream alongside Alphew, dropping right before that stream. And I believe Sun probably have this in the bag. It is still 2 FCs on the side of the Irishmen, but they would need breaks now from every FC in order to pull this back.
Yeah, it's too little too late, and I mean, Sun, they found their into this match and have utilized it beautifully. It's been mechanics on top of all sorts of mechanics, and for the Irishmen, it's been all the alt picks, all the reading picks, my keyboard to drop one of those 2 FCs at the very tail end, but with both of these teams making it the match point, it's tiebreaker time, and with that, I believe it is the Ferriquitous Songs compilation to close out our match. Sun with the 3-way FC confirmed. Oh wait, no, Fedor Goose missed on like the final 3 combo. we'll count it as the triple FC.
Hey. All right, and yeah, that is going to bring us to tiebreaker. As you said, we get the Ferriquitous Songs compilation for our last map of the match. 0 breakpoints the entire way through this match. It was just successful pick after successful pick for both of these teams. This is a hell of a map in general. It is both a songs compilation and a really, really huge collab. Asilica alongside Daily Care, Toybot, Otasaki Yu, Atlas, Moko, Scub, Halia, and Awinabi. So this is a very, very cool compilation and collab map here. 8 minutes and 10 seconds of actual length time, 651 drain length.
Yeah, the map is like super segmented in with these songs. So you're gonna be seeing constant breaks in between these little 30-second intervals. So I wonder how that's gonna build up with nerves and consistency and everything like that. Constantly seeing the score line as the map progresses is gonna be an interesting wrinkle to think about with this one, as we are getting players in the lobby, and I am super curious to see who has the advantage here, because the Irishmen picking into the ult and the reading for the bulk of the time should pave the way to this tech comfort, but on paper, Sun has a really solid tech roster of their own with Insert, Alphew, Fedorgus, and Aleph being the players in the lobby. I mean, they are no slouch on the tech themselves, but at this SR, it's all about that consistency, and gonna be curious to see how these two teams fare.
All right, looks like we have everybody in the lobby and ready to go. Dorgoose, Alphew, Aleph insert in for Sun. Unless we're getting somebody else in for insert. Rolling 30 points. Oh no. Nope, KJK, Crazy, Choco, and Allegrissimo in for the Irishmen. We do, of course, have storyboard and hit sounds on in the top left, well as beatmap skin on in the top left. So we get one player that has it on, because why not?
Good to show off the gimmick of the map.
Hello, and welcome to World TQR F3. My name is Tochi.
This is mapped
and
with
I will serve as your assistant for today's missions.
fairly simple difficulty in our first half. It's a map that is constantly getting harder as it goes on, so the first minute or 3 should be pretty simple for these players, but just looking for any sort of inconsistencies in cursor shake and whatnot. The nerve's going to be pretty palpable on this one, as the winner's bracket run is on the line early on for this match.
Yeah, not much going on here at the start. You get the intro, and everybody gets through, no problems whatsoever.
Apologies for the haste, but are you
And
ready
now we
for
go
your first
into
mission? Unfortunately,
level 1, or mission 1 in the storyboard here.
shoot the enemy aircraft and try not to miss. Missing too many times will result in a lower score, so please do your best. Good luck.
Just a lot of these like slightly higher velocity sliders, back and forth patterns during this map, or during this section at least. I think I played this once like 3 years ago. It's been a little bit.
Yeah, fairly simple intro here. The map not super dense, so those hidden players should be having a fine enough time.
Congratulations on the completion.
Right now,
of
it's
the
just
first mission.
the slight accuracy advantage via Irishmen, but not going to be telling the full story.
All you have to do is pick up a few miscellaneous materials. Be careful.
And we go with our second part. It's going to be more of a swing track for this one.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think the like narrator voice overlay is actually a hit sound. I think that's like key sounding.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Thank you
I'm
for
fairly
carefully
confident.
completing
It's,
your
they have it
mission.
on like the final note before the
next
breaks.
mission
Yeah.
requires a lot more stamina. You'll be activating your sword-wielding mapper to perform bug fixes within our systems. Do take note that the difficulty does amp up after the base drops. Slash the Stygian viral shapes to complete the mission. There are risks, so proceed with
Everybody's
caution.
still holding these FCs as well. It's just a nerve and consistency test right now. Like there's not much going on at the moment. Everybody just trying to hold their nerve, and into the first difficult
here we
section,
go.
Choco finding the break pretty much instantly. Everybody else holding through this kind of slider stream tech section. Oh, three-way
my
break
God.
for Sun! Oh my god. Is it
That
just
is
over?
disaster.
Is it just over? Okay, crazy breaks immediately
okay.
afterwards for the Irishmen, but nope, KJK, Allegrissimo are still holding the double FC. It's just Aleph now for Sun.
The next mission is an aim practice.
I keep on thinking the red-white on Fedora Goose is constant misses, but that time it being real is really devastating. Allegrissimo and Nope KJK holding on to the FC and SS respectively. Aleph, Nope KJK holding on to matching combos, just as hiddens down for the Irishmen. But now that we are into the weeds of the map, after that first tech diff spike, you're gonna start seeing the rebuild for these players. This track just more of a mechanics one for that quick 300 combo.
Well executed. However, the next mission involves slightly more technical knowledge. Retrieve broken machine parts.
I mean, I think there is still a way that they win this, right? If you're able to hold on and there's a break, if there's a double break that comes through for Nope KJK Allegrisimo, then it's still possible to win this, but Fedora Goose insert missing once again is not helping the case for Sun here. There goes Nope KJK though. Choco also finding the miss. Crazy also finding the miss. Wait a second. Suddenly it's winnable. You do probably need a break from Allegrisimo, who is double S-ing right now, by the way, as they are up 7 million points. But combo lead pretty significantly on the side of Sun. Fedora Goose and Alphew both have pretty big combo, and there is no support for Allegrisimo on the side of the Irishman.
Yeah, and you have to wonder how the nerves are for Allegrisimo right now. Finally drops the SS, luckily, but if I was holding on to SS and I was the only combo remaining for my team in with a bid to make it out with a winner's bracket win, I mean, this is a scary situation for Allegrisimo. My eyes are glued to both of these FCs, opposite corners on that bottom side. It's just a 2 million score advantage, and it may not even be up to the FCs anymore. With these combos from Fedora Goose and Alfie, the score V1 is catching up so rapidly, only a 400k difference. And it's going to be back to them in just a moment unless we see another fall apart from the team.
Yeah, it has completely come back the way of Sun now. It's those supporting combos, right? Plus 500 on 2 of your supporting combos is a massive combo lead on a map like this. Especially with how long you can go without any significantly difficult sections because of the section nature and different song nature of a compilation like this. Now we're into another somewhat difficult mechanic session. Everyone hits that triangle triple. Nobody finding drops on any of this section so far, and the score just continuing to go up in favor of Sun. We get through yet another section into yet another break, and it's now nearly a 4 million team score lead in favor of Sun, down from that 5 million team score lead we had from the Irishmen earlier on. And at this point, it's on shoes completely on the other foot. Irishmen, they need multiple breaks from Sun in order to win this map now, coming into the last couple of sections of this song and the compilation. And with everybody still holding all of these massive combos for both teams, it's really, really stressful going into the ending for either of these teams, as you're just praying that everyone can hold their combos.
Yeah, in this ending, there's going to be a big spike incoming at this tail end where we may see a bunch of fall aparts. Start to see some of these cut patterns come through as well in this final minute or so. Here we go with the diff spike. It's Choco first of all, which if you're an Irishman fan, it's not the point, but there's the FD. Alfew down. It's Fedora Goose insert holding on. All eyes on Allegrisimo. So long as they hold on to the FC, there is potential for the comeback here. Over 2.6k combo is massive score gains for the team, especially with the 1200. Fedora goes down. 8 million is the score line to watch out for, as all of these combos holding on tight for the Irishman. The shake on Crazy is
it's coming back.
Right,
it's coming back. Alfew's down again. Insert's the only one is less than 1 million.
Oh my
it's
God.
gone back to the Irishman. Hubba! They actually held. Nope, KJK, Crazy, Allegrisimo all held at the end, and it's disaster. 3-way wipe for Sun right before the end of the map in the hardest section. The Irishmen clutch up. Maybe they don't. Hold on. Everybody's missing. Everyone is down. That's it. 8-way lobby reset, and it's the Irishmen to take it by 8 million score right at the end of the map. Victory from the jaws of defeat for the Irishmen.
Unreal performance from Allegrisimo, almost closing out the FC there. 2.9k combo, more than enough to get the job done. And it was scary for Sun in the beginning too. Sun was down at those 3 FCs. Aleph holding on for dear life. The recovery combos came through, brought them back to lead, but the Irishmen were not ready to go down without a fight. And with that, the Irishmen make it out of the winner's bracket. And Sun gonna be knocked down early despite winning their group in the group stage, despite looking so strong, dropping no break points. It all came down to the ending of this tiebreaker in what is surely to be match of the tournament.
Yeah, definitely so far. Definitely so far. If only just for the ending of that tiebreaker. What a match between these two. 0 break points. Everything looking pretty set in stone throughout the entirety of the match, and then this tiebreaker coming up and just being so close back and forth between these two teams with huge leads in one direction and then the other, and then going all the way back over. And by the end of the map, an 8 million team score lead again for the Irishmen there. Really, what a tiebreaker and what a match. Congratulations to the Irishmen. They move on to the winners quarterfinals to face off against the winner of Beachside Bunny versus Z10A D-Rank Tax. And then Sun, of course, unfortunately, after winning their group, like you said, after going 3-0, they drop down to the loser's bracket to face the loser of that very same match. So honestly, good luck to both of the teams that could potentially face either of these ones, because both of these teams looked very strong in this match.
Yeah, they have their strong suits. They're both fairly well-rounded, and I'm excited to see them in both of their paths throughout the Hippo Cup. So I believe that is our final match of the day with this one.
It is.
Early showing for Hippo Cup here, but we'll be catching you once more tomorrow with our continued coverage. 13 UTC tomorrow for R2X5 versus People 10.
Yeah, we've got matches tomorrow, 13, 15, 17, and 18 UTC on Sunday. So come on back tomorrow. That'll be it for us for now. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you to Hubba for casting along with me. Thank you to Robot Skin for reffing the match. And good luck to both of these teams in their next matchup in the quarterfinals. We'll see you all back here tomorrow for more Hippo Cup.